Yes, people, why boy, and I am still so happy after North London derby win. But it's a new day, and I'm talking about captains at Arsenal Football Club, a hot topic over the past few seasons. Who I believe should be the captain of Arsenal Football Club. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing on my road to 700. I produce a lot of Arsenal football related content, and subscribing is absolutely free. You just got to hit the button down below, the big red button, and hit the bell notice so you never miss a video. And leave in the comment section down below who you believe should be Arsenal captain. You could be an Arsenal fan and non-Arsenal fan. I just want to see what you lot think, whether it should be Aubameyang or someone else. I'm going to start, before I go into Arsenal, and talk about what I believe makes a good captain in general. In my eyes, it boils down to two specific subtopics of captain. You have two types of captain. You have a captain that, in my eyes, leads with their voice. So these aren't necessarily the best player on the pitch. It's just the most vocal and the one that rallies the troops. I'm thinking my best example is probably someone like Jordan Henderson for Liverpool. Henderson is not Liverpool's best player. Let's all agree on that. But he is definitely one of their most vocal players. He's the one in the pre-match huddle. He's the one in the changing rooms. He's the one in the post-match whatever conference. Whether he's the one that he dictates. He's the one that talks to the team. He's the one that gets them fired up, gets them ready. He's the one that when times are tough, he's talking. Yeah, let's do this. Come on, push up. We still got this, boys. He's the vocal one, and he's the one that leads like a captain does with their voice. And then you've got the other side for me. The ones, the captains that don't lead by their voice, but lead by their performance. This is most likely probably the best player on the pitch, if not one of the best players. And you just look at them and go, they're going to do something. The best example for this, literally on the point, is probably Lionel Messi when he was at Barcelona. In the late years when he was captain of Barcelona, look, Messi, I think we can all agree, he's quite an introverted guy, shy person, not very talkative. He lets his football do the talking. That's literally one of the most relevant quotes about Lionel Messi. He lets his football do the talking. And that was him as a captain towards his late years. He wasn't the one that was going to shout at people, no, you get back, defend, no, let's push up. But he's the one that says, give me the ball, boys, I'll do something with it. And then that inspires the team by him taking on a player, by him scoring a goal. But if it was a defender, for example, they're making a goal-saving tackle, that inspires the team, and that's captain material. So yeah, and then obviously you have the hybrid, the players that are the best player on the team, lead by performance, but also lead their voice. This, for me, is someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal. The brother is like, he's their best player. Like, he scores the goals for them, but he's also, you see him, like, when he got pulled off in the Euro 2016 final for injury, he was like a second manager for them. He was barking on the touchline. He's always giving his players, like, kind of helpful tips and what to do, and he's always shouting instructions, helping them. So yeah, that's the hybrid for me. Now, in terms of Arsenal, now relating it back to us, I believe the captain you need is a mix of the both. And the captain we have right now, Aubameyang, if I had, I'm going to have like a timeline, or not a timeline, like a chart down the bottom, and having vocal and like performance-based like captain, like where they kind of stand. I see Aubameyang more towards the performance-based. The thing with Aubameyang is he's undoubtedly one of our best players at this football club. Obviously, form-wise, he hasn't been amazing recently. He scored in the North London derby, but before that, he's been a bit hit and miss. But he leads by performance, let's not lie. In terms of his actual vocal thing, I can tell he's an extroverted guy. Everyone is giving him like snaps, Instagram stories of him in the changing rooms. He's a cool guy to be around, don't get me wrong. But one thing about Aubameyang, and I'll say this, I don't care because I'm a real Arsenal fan. When the going gets tough, and this is when you need your captain. Anyone can be a captain when you're 3-0 up, 4-0 up, 5-0 up, 2-0 up. When times are going great, everyone's a captain. But you need a captain when times are tough, when you're 1-0 down, 5-0 down, whatever. And Aubameyang's head is one of the first to drop when we go down. I'll say it as it is. His head is one of the first to drop at this football club. I see it every week. When we go down 2-0, 3-0, his head drops immediately. And that's not captain material in my opinion. So with that being said, I do value him more towards performance because I don't really see Aubameyang as someone that's going to shout at the players, like rally them up, etc. He's the one that leads with his goals and then kind of goes from there. So I'll put him more on the performance-based side. Now, if I put like loads of Arsenal players on here, just like where I believe they'd sit, I'm going to give a few examples of where certain Arsenal players will sit on this list. Granit Xhaka, for me, is a prime example of someone that leads by their voice. In my opinion, yeah, you should copy exactly what Granit Xhaka says, exactly what he says, and do nothing of what he actually does. Copy everything he says and copy nothing that he actually does. Because the brother talks an amazing game. I see him. Even for Switzerland, he's vocal. He's on that. When we score, example, he's still giving pointers to the team. He's still saying, keep your heads, etc. He's a great captain material in terms of what he talks. But then his performances, he's rash, makes silly mistakes. Don't copy anything the brother does, but listen to everything he says. So yeah, for me, Xhaka is not captain material because he's too much on the side of talking and not enough on the side of performance. He's not good enough of a player or consistent enough as a player to be a captain for me. Then you've got players on the other side. Aaron Ramsdale for me, he's brand new to the club, so I would not say he's captain. Sure, well, you still have to give him a few years. He's only been there for 4 or 5 games, but I see him as like a good mix. Aaron Ramsdale, he's passionate about the club. That's number one. His performances, I can't say he's leaning towards performance side because he's only had 3 games or 4 games in this club now. They've been good games, don't get me wrong, but they could just be form. There needs to be a larger sample size for me to gather whether he actually is one of the top performers at this football club. But vocal as I see him, he's shouting at the team. He's giving instructions. When Tomiyasu cleared his save, his rebound save, he was hugging him. He's vocal, he's passionate. So he's giving me good signs. But for me, the number one candidate for the captain job at Arsenal Football Club is Kieren Tierney. That's who I believe it is. He's been here for a few seasons now. He was a bit injury hit in the first season, but he's Mr. Consistent. He's everything I believe we need in the captain. He's consistent every game, 7 at least. He's 7 at least. He's dependable. He's good going forward, good going back. He seems to have a nice kind of relationship with the team, with the staff, with everything that goes in and around the club. And he's vocal as well. Like, I remember in the open mic for the Arsenal Spurs 2-1 win, not the 3-1 win, the last derby at March 2021. They had an open mic on him and he was shouting, "Boys, we need to score this." He's vocal. He's always giving instructions, etc. I think he's perfect captain material for Arsenal Football Club. To be honest, I believe he should be the captain. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You might believe it's someone else, but for me, I think Kieren Tierney has to be captain of this football club. I just love the way he's a perfect blend of performance-based, because he's always one of the most reliable players on our team. He's number one name on the team sheet for sure. Like definitely he's a solidified starter. And he's also got the backing. He's also talking. He's vocal. And he's young as well, so that vocal side's going to pick up as he gets more experience. Yeah, I just think he's an absolute lock to be captain in my eyes. Of course, Arteta has put Aubameyang as captain after Xhaka did his display. We're not going to talk about it because it's happened in his past. I don't like dwelling on stuff that happened in the past. But yeah, after his display against Crystal Palace where he ripped up the shirt, etc. And the thing with Aubameyang is, like, the geezer, he's just not a captain in my eyes. Like, he's a great footballer, but he looks better without the captain's armband. I just think we need to give it to someone like Tierney. But the thing is, if we give it to Tierney, that might just crush Aubameyang. Because if you take the captain away from someone, it's way different to not giving them it in the first place. You don't give it to them in the first place, it's not that deep. But if you give it to them and then take it away from them, that can crush them and be like, "Oh, I've not done a good job then." But it's how he takes it, of course. I just think, like, to be honest, I'd start it now, but for next season, I believe we need a new captain at this football club. And when Aubameyang does eventually leave, maybe next season, maybe the season after, Kieren Tierney should take over as this club's captain, just for the fact that he is the most consistent player. He's vocal. I believe players look to him. And yeah, he's just one of our players to stay in the back four as well. I love having captains as one of the defenders because it's one of the most vocal positions on the pitch. I believe a striker, don't get me wrong, strikers are vocal, but defence have to be so organised, especially in the Premier League. And you're always communicating as a defender, like push up, squeeze in, etc. And having a left back as a captain, left back, right back, centre back, I think it's one of the best positions to have. Captain, them and goalkeeper, I believe, are great captains to have. So yeah, that's just been my opinion on who I believe should be the captain of Arsenal. In my opinion, it should be Kieren Tierney. Let me know in the comment section down below who you believe should be captain of Arsenal Football Club. I'm already down there. If you're new, please consider subscribing on my road to 700. And if you enjoyed the content I provide for free, maybe hit a like button as well. I've been Wonderful and I'll catch you guys in the next video.